today. First thing I'm going to do is the piston and cylinder swap on the 026 chainsaw. I was able to clean the cylinder up, but I got a brand new Stihl piston here. I'm going to throw that on the saw, and also got a carburetor. I'm going to put that on the saw as well. So once I got that done, then I'm going to hop over to one of the 500Is that I did last week. I was waiting on the fuel injector, got the parts in here, so get that swapped out. And then a customer dropped off an 026 saw, did not want, so I'm going to be refurbishing this. I'm in the process of cleaning it. Piston's just tired and wore out, so not a bunch of scoring, but I could replace the rings, but I already got it all tore apart, and I'm just going to throw a piston on there too, so that way everything's nice and fresh. So that is going to be my other project for the day. So I got it all tore down, but yeah, just going to have to get parts for that. There's the 500. There's the 026. Let me show you putting the top end on the 026, and everything should go pretty smooth. I've already had a chance to clean this one up, so obviously it's not filthy anymore. If you know, by watching my videos, I go through and thoroughly clean everything. Actually got stuff in the ultrasonic cleaner right now. Actually got the cylinder in there for this saw, get all the crap off of it. Make it nice and squeaky clean. So when I get these put back together, they're not a disaster and look as good as they can for their age. So let me get you guys set up and I'll show you how I put this piston on. So I did order a new wiring harness. This one was having some issues. Little cut right there in the wire. So gonna replace both of those. Hopefully that makes everything function better. When you got stuff all tore apart like this, you might as well just swap out some of this stuff. I mean, I could try to patch that wire, but why patch it when it doesn't cost much money just to replace it? And if I'm going this far into stuff, I just want to make it as close to 100% as I can get it. This comes with a new grommet for the top here too. So I don't have to be super careful taking this off anyways. Got a little fuel mess there, but all right. Got everything I need right here. I'm going to put a little press fluid, which is just a lightweight lubricant that I use. Make everything slide in a little easier. Otherwise, sometimes these are a tight fit. And I've got my rounded end tool right here. You don't want to use a flathead screwdriver because you can puncture stuff. And when you're dealing with wires, you definitely do not want to puncture your wires. So that should be good to go on that. Let's connect our little wires here. They are nice and stiff because they're brand new. Put the first one in. Nice red lever unit here. Got that one in there as well. And then, of course, you can reconnect this, the ignition coil. And of course, we're going to gap it since I'm messing with it. I'm just going to rotate this around till the magnet sits right there. There's a magnet. The magnet will pull the coil tight to it. When it's tight, tighten her down, pop your magnet out, and then it's gapped right. So we got that. Let's see here. Pop that old piston off. I know it's sort of hard to see right here, but I've got my tool right here. There's a little gap right here I can get into. So I'm just going to go under it until I catch it. Put my thumb over it so it doesn't go flying. Pull it off. I don't really need this. This kit comes with a new one. But I keep it just in case I were to lose that one. And then we're going to push through the wrist pin. Got to flip it over here. And it sounds like I got a customer, so I might have to break away for a minute here. But that is the old piston right there. Just some nice honest wear. So got the new kit here. Obviously the piston, the new one is a lot nicer than the old one. All the wear on there. I'm going to go ahead and lubricate the needle cage. And then there is one circlip that's already in there. I don't know if you guys can see that. That's from the factory. Arrow right here. The arrow is always going to point towards the exhaust. And then we're going to put that circlip in. It's got a wrist pin right here. we're going to use a little press fluid just to lubricate a little bit. And then just set that on there. We're going to line the holes up. Need a little bit more lubrication here. These smaller ones are a little bit harder because I got big hands and they don't like to fit in these small areas as well. There we go. Take my flathead, push that pin down the rest of the way. I'm going to get my circlip tool. So circlip tool, this is going to be the number 10, it's a small one. It's got a magnet on one end. So the gap side with the flat side, right like that. And then you got a flat side in here. So what we're going to do is take this, work it down to the end. Sometimes it gets stuck a little bit. All right, so I got it seated all the way down in there. Now I'm going to do just come up here, set it over the hole. Once it's aligned, I'm going to snap it in place. And that one is set. So just going to double check my work here. Take the screwdriver, go all the way around, make sure it's seated right, because you do not want to have the circlips come off when the saw is in operation, or it will completely trash your saw. So that is how you replace that pin. So hold on, I got a customer, I'll be right back. All right, so here's the cylinder. We're going to get this back on there. I went through and cleaned this already. There's no scoring on there. Should be good to go on that. So what I am going to do, just get a little bit of my dirt off of there. I'm going to put a block underneath the piston. I've already got my gasket on there. So there's the block. The block's going to hold the piston up while I'm putting the cylinder on top of it. So I've got my rings up here. There's a little pin right there. The gaps so your rings need to go on each side of it. Same thing with the other side of the ring. Need to make sure that that is on both sides. Once you get that, throw a little oil on there again. Get it on the top, drop it on the sides. And then put a little bit on the bottom there. Got my ring clamp, just a little plastic ring clamp. It should be the right one. So what I'm going to do is compress those rings right around those pins. So if you can see, it's nice and tight. I got a little bit of a gap on top. I have that gap so that way I can start with a little bit of a lip to seat that on. I'm going to push down, wiggle back and forth, and then I'm going to release the clamp as I'm pushing. So once it clears the rings, you can pull that out. Now I can pull my block out. I'm going to take the manifold, get the manifold back in the hole. And of course my rounded end tool, that's going to help me get everything back into place. You can also use rope on these if you really want to and pull them through, but by the time I rope it off, I can do what I just did. So there's the manifold. Get that all seated there. So that's what that manifold looks like. Now, get the rest of my parts here. So you got this washer. Goes around the outside here. Again, if you got fat fingers like myself, it's a little tight space. You got this ring that goes in the center of the manifold to keep it open. Just be careful after you push this out. They don't stay in very well. And if you're moving the saw a bunch of different angles, they can fall back out. So I got that in there. Get my bolts here. I'm going to clean them off. I'll blow out the holes. You want to make sure those holes don't have debris in there so that we don't strip anything out. So I'm just going to line them all up here. Take some compressed air and blow those out. Get my tweezers. That's the easiest way to get these in because they're sort of a pain in the ass. They don't fit through the top here. Long tweezers are perfect. I fought with these for many, many years until I decided to use tweezers. So, as the old saying goes, work smarter, not harder. All right. We're just going to get them all started first. Just get them enough where they're threaded in. Then we can start tightening them down. This is a wimpy impact, so I do that until I get them all the way down. Then I'll take my T-handle scrunch. If I can get that one down there, that one's not going to fit. See if we can get one of these to fit on there. Just striking out today. Grab my other impact. Just got to be careful when you're using these higher powered impacts. You don't overdo it. All right, so we got that. Let's go ahead and throw the muffler back on. This muffler is rusty and crusty. Got a gasket here that needs to go on too. So if you go to put these on and you're setting them like this, this is the easiest way to do it. That way you can get all your holes lined. This particular one is pretty boogered up. We're going to have to clean that one out. So is that one, I guess. So let's try this again. A bunch of carbon and stuff in here. Blow these guys out. All right, so I got gasket, the back half of the muffler, got the screws cleaned out, got my holes lined up. So that is how we do that. If you try to do it where it's laying on your bench, you're going to be fighting that like crazy because you're fighting gravity. So this is the way I found that makes life a lot easier. Got that. Get a rewind starter back on here. So all 4 of these screws are going to be the same, except this one's got a cup. All right, got those done. Got that where we want it. Get our insulator moved up here. That insulator is going to protect that. That. And that just screws on there. Got the carburetor. So this is sort of a pain in the butt to do. So I did replace the fuel line. That one is not cooperating. Wants to go straight up and down instead of going to the side where I need it to go. That little spacer right there. So when you put these carburetors in, this particular one, you have to put the linkage in as you're putting it in, because if you put the carburetor in, you're not going to be able to get the linkage attached. I hate working on this particular model. They're a pain. Something else we got to be conscious of, these wires right there. Make sure we're not pinching them behind there. There we go. Got our fuel line attached. There's no pinches or kinks in it. Got our wires tucked to the side where they should be. Now this is the annoying part. That throttle wants to pull out to the side like that. So you have to get this in here. And then you have to hold that trigger up to keep that from going anywhere. Get this into place and lock it down. That's how you have to do it. This is the 4th one of these that I've done in the past week or 2. And after messing with the first one for a long time, I finally figured out a plan of attack. So that is how we have to get them in there. And there's a screw right here. And of course, the screws are a pain to get in there as well. Especially if you got big fingers. So make sure you hold on the handle on the other side and don't let go. Otherwise, that'll all spring open on you and you have to start all over. All right. Got that. That's all good. And that's how you do the top end of one of these. So that's pretty much it. Get these screws on, the air filter and the cover, and go give it a test run. So I got a customer coming in here. I'm going to let you guys go and have a good rest of your day. Look for a couple videos to drop later today. Thank you.